Hello there. I'm an EV driver, have been for a couple of years now. I am a pensioner and most of my journeys are short and I charge at home, which makes me, I think, a bit different from most content providers on YouTube, which is why I thought I'd do this video. I can't afford new cars, I buy second hand. I started a couple of years back with Nissan Leaf 30 kilowatt. I bought that. It was a bit of a compromise. I really didn't want it, but it was a compromise between me and my wife. When I say a compromise, I compromised. But my wife felt that she might be able to drive it. Unfortunately, she was unwell and she didn't recover, and she died at the beginning of this year. So I decided to change the car. The reason I offered that, I should say, is I don't like small cars. My last internal combustion car was Audi A6 Avant. I mean, I loved it, but it was time for it to go. Got to save the planet and all that kind of stuff. The Leaf was okay. It was a nice little car. I liked the driving position, you know, and for running around home, it was fine. It was just if I had to go anywhere, a bit of a problem range-wise, which I'll explain in a minute. Also, I like to be able to shove stuff in the back of the car and stuff, and it was just a bit limited for space. I decided to change after my wife had gone, and I plumped for a Peugeot e2008. Very pretty car, I thought. You know, nice looks, beautiful colour. It was a sort of burnt orange colour, the one that I got. Very nice, and. Yeah, to begin with, I was very impressed with it until my first trip to Glasgow to see my family, which is a 37-mile trip. I live in the countryside, and it's mostly motorway. But I set off with the E2008, 100% battery, set at 176 miles range. I drove 37, got to Glasgow, driving on the motorway. Now, I can assure you I never went above 65. I've become very light-footed since I started driving electric vehicles. I used to be the opposite. I remember a colleague once telling me that my style of driving was either hard on the brake or hard on the accelerator. But those days are gone. I'm glad to see. It's actually quite nice to drive in a bit of a more relaxed style, shall we say. But yeah, I set off to Glasgow. 176 mile range, 174 mile range. When I got there, there was 106 left. So I'd used 68 miles of range, driving 37 miles. It is winter, and the Leaf was the same. The Leaf could go to Glasgow and back in the summer without recharging, but not in the winter. I always felt to be on the safe side, because I didn't want to be arriving home, you know, on 0%, that I had to charge. And this was the same with the Peugeot. After running around, you know, doing things with grandchildren and stuff, taking them places, that to be on the safe side, I had to recharge before I came home. So I wasn't happy with that. So I went back to the dealer that I bought the Peugeot from, and unfortunately lost a little bit of money, but gave it back and drove out with the e-Niro, which I have to say, I think is a great car. First thing I noticed, because it is winter here in Scotland, the heater just works so much better. Even with the heating on in both the Leaf and the Peugeot, the car never really felt warm. Okay, they got electric seats. The Leaf had electric steering wheel as well, heated steering wheel. It was kind of okay, but when I was driving in the winter, coat on, hat on. The e-Niro, no, the heating works great. You can zone it for just the driver. Fantastic. Really pleased with that. Haven't done a long run in it yet. I'm going to be doing that today, actually, which is why I thought I'd do this video, and we'll see how it compares. But yeah, I just kind of thought that for people a bit like myself, you know, who are not, you know, chugging up and down motorways every day, like so many of the content providers on YouTube, who I think are brilliant, by the way. I have to say, I spend you know, most of my leisure time on YouTube. you know, yeah. Anyway, I do things a bit differently, mostly pottering around locally, and they go with the occasional long haul journey. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. I'm also, since I got the Niro, I've just registered with Octopus, and I'm going to go on the Octopus Go tariff because at the moment they don't support the Niro that I have. I have a wall charger now as well, which I've just had installed, but that's been a bit problematic, so I'll explain that to you as well. But anyway, let's go and have a look at the car. So here we are. Here's the car. I'm just showing this. Here's my neighbour. Just it destroyed my hedge. We planted a hedge there, believe it or not. It's gone. It's the train just going past. But anyway, here's the car. On charge at the moment, so that when I leave to go to Glasgow this time, it'll have 100% charge, the same as the Peugeot did when I went last week. And now the dog's barking, sorry about that. As you can see, I have a wall charger. But I'm charging it on a granny charger at the moment. The dealer that I bought the car from had a deal, $499 to have a charger installed, which I paid. There have been 2 engineers here to fit it. It's still not working, and there's another engineer coming tomorrow from EVEC, I believe, to try and find out what the problem is. We couldn't get it to connect to, I couldn't connect to my phone, couldn't connect to the engineer's phone, so anyway, we'll see what transpires with that tomorrow. So yeah, this is the car. Nice car, but it's you know, nothing. So I don't have one of those gimbal things, so I'm sorry if it's a bit shaky, but nothing spectacular. I think it's probably the most boring car I've ever owned next to the Leaf, but anyway, I like it. So here I am in the car. I'm not going to do a review of the car. There are plenty of those on YouTube, people who are much more qualified to do that than I am. What I will say is I find it really comfortable. I've got it set nicely. It's got Apple CarPlay, which I love. I bought one of these little wireless dongle things so that I don't have to plug my phone in every time, because I guess this is one of the things about being old, being a pensioner. I kept wandering off out of the car and leaving my phone behind. It was a regular occurrence, so I've got this wireless dongle. I'll maybe do a thing about that later, which is great. You know, I just leave my phone in my pocket, and it connects and it does Apple CarPlay while I'm driving, without me having to take my phone out and then walk off and leave it behind. What else can I tell about the car? Yeah, as I say, the other thing that I find really great about it is it's warm. It's you know, having both the Leaf. I've gone through 2 winters with the Nissan Leaf, where driving in the winter I would have my coat on, I'd have my hat on, and even, you know, have the heated seat on, heated steering wheel, still feel cold. You know, my legs would feel cold or whatever. With the heating on, this thing's much better. Of course, it does have a heat exchanger, which makes a big difference. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you more about it when we finish. I'll just quickly turn it on. You'll hear all the lovely noises that these things make when you switch them on.
One of the most important aspects.
Sorry about that. So I'll just tell you. So it's fully charged at the moment. It's showing just a range of 235 miles. Hang on, I'll take this off and show you. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, it's showing a range of 235 miles at the moment. It's fully charged, 100%. You can see my driving style has been 97% economical, 3% normal, 0 dynamic. I haven't floored it. Haven't felt the need to do that as yet. But you can see also it's the miles it's done 30,390. So when I get back tonight, that'll make the calculations quite easy. Actually, that's quite good. Nice round number. and you can see the outside temperature at the moment is 7 degrees. So I guess the 235 miles takes all of that into account. It's winter, it's cold. I've got it set on winter mode, so and I know that that can reduce the range, but it's better for the battery, I think. Anyway, we'll see what happens to those figures when I come back tonight. So this is the dongle that I'm using, this Garling kit one. I'll just show you what happens with that. Start the vehicle up.
Absolutely. So during the pandemic.
There we go. I'm on Apple CarPlay. No problem. Just on there. It's great. When I first set up, I had to, of course, connect it to the Bluetooth on my phone, and but that's it. Away, no problem. Good. Okay. Anyway, we'll see what happens with our range when I get back tonight. So here I am. I've just pulled up in Glasgow, outside where I'm picking my granddaughter up. I'll show you the dash in a sec, but I've actually covered a little bit more than usual because I wasn't picking her up from the usual place. So I've covered about 40 miles, and yeah, I'm pleased with stuff. I'll just turn this around and let you see. Okay, so here we are. You see that the mileage is now 30,430, so yeah, I've covered 40 miles. In fact, the tripometer is showing at 40.2. The range is now at 200. It was at 235. I mean, I don't know what assumptions Kia were making for me there, but so I've covered 40 miles and just lost 35 miles worth of range. That's with the heating on. I used all the driver assist modes. I actually travelled at 70 this time. I felt confident to do that because I know this has a better range. So I had the cruise control on the motorway just set at 70. There's reasonably heavy traffic, which is why, as you can see, it's taken me an hour and 10 minutes to get here. But yeah, I mean, I am impressed. This could be the end of range anxiety for me. I'm amazed. Well done, e-Niro. Okay, I've just pulled up at home after a lovely dinner and pancakes. It's Shrove Tuesday today with my daughter and her partner and my grandchildren. I had a lovely time. I'm just blown away. I really have spent 2 years with complete range anxiety. It's just vanished today with this e-Niro, I have to say. You can see the figures here. 156 miles range left, 30,466 on the clock. I've travelled 76.5 miles, average 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour. I'm going to go in now and do all the calculations, see where we're at. Well, here I am indoors now. I've just made a cup of tea and I'm looking at the figures to see just quite where I stand with this car. As I said earlier, I'm thrilled with it. The figures are going to demonstrate that. I'm sure. I've just been looking on the app and I'll put that up on the screen just now. As you can see, my energy consumption is just over 20 kilowatt hours. Average consumption 3.78 miles per kilowatt hour, and I managed to recuperate 2.81 kilowatt hours. That's using adaptive cruise control. I noticed that to maintain the distance to the car in front, that the Niro would use the regen to just slow us down if the cars in front were slowing down, and that managed to get 2.81 kilowatt hours back, which is great. If you look at the bottom, you can see that how that 20 kilowatt hours was used up. Driving 85%, electronic devices. I was using Apple CarPlay, I was listening to Spotify, I had the wipers on the way home, I had the lights on, and that was it. I don't know what else would come under that. The climate control, 7%, that's great. I mean, I don't mind that at all. It's the first time in 2 years in the winter that I felt comfortable in one of my EVs. It's just beautifully warm. I love it. So to round up, it's yeah, I'm a complete e-Niro convert. I couldn't be happier. No range anxiety whatsoever. I drove to Glasgow, which is the thing I need to do most. I picked my granddaughter up. We drove around a bit, did a few things. Went, had dinner. I got out back in the car and drove home without having to even think, can I manage it? Do I need to charge up? It was a great feeling, and yeah, I'm in love. Anyway, I hope this has been useful to everyone who sees it. I'm not very knowledgeable, but if there's anything that anyone wants clarifying, please do let me know in the comments below. If you can clarify anything for me, I'd be happy to hear it. I'm interested really in why I was setting off at 100% with a range of 235. It's a 3-year-old car. I'm sure there is battery degradation. I don't know how much. That's maybe a thing I'll look into next. But all in all, it used 79 miles of the predicted range to cover 76.5 miles, which I think in the winter and in those conditions, not bad at all. Yeah, well, I hope this has been useful. Do comment if you'd like to. I will do more of these. I will be doing much longer ones. I have family down in the south of England, and I'll be travelling down there. So I'll do another one of these when I do that. That's going to be an interesting one for me. I've never covered that distance in a EV. I've never felt confident enough to even try it with the Nissan. With the Leaf, I didn't have the e2008 long enough to do it. But I will certainly do it with this. I feel absolutely happy that, you know, with a few stops to charge, have comfort brakes and eat, that this is not going to be a problem. But anyway, that's for another day. If you've watched this, thank you very much, and I hope you watch any more that I do. Bye for now.